Okay guys, so here we are in Forgotten Hollow. This is the Sims we had in Create Sim. If you haven't seen that video yet, go back on my channel. Many other videos on there, but feel free to take a look at them as well. But for this, we're going to move in the Davenport, and I'm going to show you what you get in the build by options. But to start off, this is Forgotten Hollow. We have Vlad's house up here. You then have another house owned already by Sims. They're good vampires, or as close as can be. You then have this starter home-ish house. That house is full of garlic, so that would then be for normal human Sims rather than the vampire Sims, because vampires shouldn't be near garlic. You then have this shack-like townhouse. Registered vampire there, so we've got new lot traits. But I'm gonna move them in here. Fledermaspend? Not pronouncing that right. So I'm gonna move them in there. Then I'll show you Forgotten Hollows once we move in. Alright. Back in a moment. Okay, so we're back in build mode. Now, to first off show you the lot traits. There are two new lot traits. You have Registered Vampire Lair. The lot registered as a vampire lair, the League will send various gifts from time to time through the mail, no less. Even the Immortals use a public mail system only available on home residents. So we can have that. And then you also have Vampire Nexus. A dark void envelops a slot in the upside down. Sorry, I can't speak. Vampires are more likely to visit the area. So we're going to have that as well. And on the dark ley line. The dark energy here has an impact on all nocturnal activities. You can expect babies conceived here to require extra care while teething. Ooh. Teething vampires. Not a good thing. I do have a 1-year-old niece. She is currently teething, and I know the stress of a teething baby, and it's hard sometimes. Good thing she's not my daughter, but not saying that she's bad. I do love her. Okay, so this is one of the wallpapers, floral bat motif. As you can see, bats and roses. Now, from a distance, you wouldn't necessarily associate with bats, and that's in a way a good thing. They're sneaking vampire styled decoration in ordinary places. So a vampire who's very proud of their vampire heritage could have these up in their house without having to worry for anyone to expect that they are in fact a vampire. And then you also have this, which is vertical bat motif. This is very similar to that one. Yes, you got the bats in a column. Now, for those who do realise, little Easter egg, you have the plumb bob in the middle that makes out the bat's body. So there's that to it. So as far as I believe, they are the only. No, we have that one is from the Vintage Glamour pack, which I haven't done any building since vintage glamour, so I haven't used all the content. But you then also have this neoclassic wall panelling. Now this is very Victorian-esque. It's very wooden panelling. It's got the gold inlays. It's very nice. You then have this brick pattern that I like, and then what's so different about this? Ah, it has corn accents. So do that. Get ourselves another wall, and we have the brick accents. So that's an interesting feature. If we then do more packs, and I'll show you what we missed. Then have Victorian wall pattern. Very dark. If we find a lighter one, so we can look at the details here. That looks a bit like a fleur-de-lis, but got simple patterns that you'd expect to see in period houses. We then have this that has the more pillars, sort of like chandelier with little masks with the horns or the ears there. And then this is called a patterned back column print. Not really sure where the bats come into it. I mean, them to me look more like bushes than bats, if they are meant to be the bats. I can't see that. But that is something you typically see in a Victorian house. So, very interesting. I quite like the different wallpapers. You can make more period houses. I know quite a lot of simmers do come up with period houses, and I am a fan of period builds. So if we then come along here, I do have the move objects cheat on. So we have accented roof dormer. So this is like a window you'd have on your roof. I like that. I don't really use these roof sculptures very often. Then have the werewolf gargoyle. This I've seen a lot of people use on the ground as it is. But again, gargoyles are very interesting. I really have to admit I like this. Especially those spikes. It'll be interesting to see when werewolves do come, whether they get a game pack of their own, whether they're introduced in a Sims Sims 4 pet expansion pack like werewolves were in Sims 2, or whether the Sims 4 have their own supernatural expansion pack in which they're introduced into. But one thing I'd like to do is come back and see how the werewolf form appears in comparison to this. It'd be interesting to see, but I do like this. It'd be good decoration. And then you have the roof vent. So if we lift that up, try think of it. I cannot really picture it being a vent. I haven't seen many Victorian buildings, but I can't particularly see that being a roof vent. But I'm not an expert. I believe because there's a hole there which the smoke comes out of. It's very decorative. The Victorians did come up with a lot of decorative things which some of you may get annoyed saying the fact that it's not entirely Victorian styled. Yes, I know that, but that's what I expected. That's what I see predominantly it is Victorian styled things. But if you disagree with me, you're entitled to your opinion, as I am with mine. And if you don't think it's Victorian styled, I would love to hear what you think it is styled from, or if you think I'm wrong with something, I'd like for you to comment it below so I can take a look and to expand my knowledge. So yeah, moving on, we'll touch on plants. So we have the dry pine tree. There is already a pine tree in The Sims 4, and yeah, you have this orangey brown or autumnal pattern to it, as if it's autumn, or for the Americans fall. I'm not sure who else used fall, but rather than autumn. I'm not that culturally knowledgeable, but yeah, looks like it's dying, it's going. If my memory serves me, pine trees are evergreen, so they are green every month of the year, other than when they die. May be wrong about that, but that's interesting. Oh, I like that. In a weird sense. It's a dead tree, splintered at the bottom. It's separated into two thicker branches, which in turn have split into three others. And each of them have their own branches. I really like that. Scraggly tree. Yeah. Agree with that. Really like that. Oh, hawthorns. Yes, as expected. Hawthorn trees are very, very big. Thick roots. I like this feature. We got a root sprouting up, making a rainbow-like hoop over. Yes, really liking this. Very nice. Very detailed as well. I like that. I don't actually believe there is a hawthorn tree in Sims 4 at the moment. If I search up then hawthorn, there is. Here. Yes, so the dead one has a thicker trunk, probably because it's older. Hawthorns can live for a very, very long time, but similarly, like most, it's splintered. But yeah. And finally, the bare pine tree. This is more of an American, not necessarily one like that, it's taller. There are a few pine trees in Sims like this. I believe only ones obtained from Outdoor Retreat though. Not 100% sure, I'm not going to check though, because we should be moving on to what else we get in build mode. So we have this ornate Victorian roofline. That's quite interesting. I actually like that. Like the pattern. It looks a lot like that of a banister, and it'd be interesting to fiddle with that. I don't really fiddle with spandrels very often, if that's what they're called, right? Yes, spandrels. yeah, I don't tend to mess around with them. I'm not really sure. It's like the pillars, another thing I don't use too often, but I'm not exactly the best architecturally. See, looking at the patterns here, I like this. This is more plain one with what looks like floral decoration at the top, and then this one that's more squared pattern. It's styled, and then just throw over to the white just to check the fact that I haven't missed any details, because you can see the rectangular edge. You've got this cylindrical pieces here and here, and then of course at the top, but the remainder of it is rectangular, which I like. And this is almost entirely rectangular. You have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8-sided octagon here at the top with the what I'm assuming floral. In my opinion, it looks like it could be leaves or petals, something of that sort on top. Other than that, it's rather bland, but in a good way. It looks like it's made out of marble from the patterns, but I believe they could work very well. No stairs. Have 2 banisters, so I am gonna just throw stairs in there. Put the filter back on, and let's have a look here. We have, this is something that goes very well, not planned, but we'll have the brick stairs here, and then this iron cast stairs here. This reminds me of a lot of what you'd see at a train station. Makes me think a lot of Harry Potter, the iron bars and banisters and fences they had in, I believe, King's Cross station. I believe that's where the train station scenes were the majority of the time. I am a big Harry Potter fan, but not the biggest fan on all the little details. Then we have the neoclassic. I do like a few neoclassic styles. It's not my predominant. See, I like the triangular pieces there. And then you have the rectangular and cylindrical shapes going down. Something you'd see, and I think that's the fleur de lis on there. Not 100% sure, of course, but I really like that. I really like those. We then move on to fences. We have a couple of fences. So to start off, we have more iron fences. Liking that. I like the top crowns with the points and then simple bars. Do like that. Then have the neoclassic slim. Yeah, that's more what you'd see on a balcony, and then what matches these stairs. So I can see that being more in-house decoration, whereas this is more guard the boundaries. Concrete Victorian fence. Now for a concrete fence, I was expecting it to be higher, more of this sort of fence, but perhaps it's for exterior decorating. For example, on a balcony, that's the fence you'll use to block it off, and then you've got railings, again to match the iron staircase railings we got here. And then we have, oh, I'm really going to like this, but I believe this is going to need to be bigger. So if we make it this 4 wide, let's even make it 5. So we have this here. Let's put the, oh, I really like this gate. got the big mask here. Not sure if they're meant to be like bat-like ears or whether they're meant to be horns, whether they come from the top or the bottom. Decorate. I really like this sign of 18th century ironworks because they have so many different detailings. It's really interesting and intricate. We have the small little pattern change here at the bottom. It's just something I really like. Really interesting. Going, however, back to the walls, we have this arched double set of doors. I wondered if the name had something else. Have then the golden pattern on the handles and the top of the bottom with two simple windows. Looks identical on both sides, other than the arching. So this will be what you see on the inside. That's what you see on the outside, almost like a front door. Self-wall entrance. This is a large door that actually does look identical, so I believe that will be an interior door if used, but it's very grand, it's very tall and more gold, which is good against white. If you go black, the gold goes to white, and it's very contrasting, very nice colours. Then have this archway. Oh, joys of having move objects cheat on. Yes, see this then, the face pattern matches the same, although this one seems less detailed, has slightly different pattern coming down. Then this is similar to the pillars or columns we have here. Really like that. It's called an internal arch. Really like that. And then we have mausoleum gates, which is exactly the same except there's a door. The pattern then goes on there, and then you have 6 golden pieces here. Now there's no actual handles on this side, but there are handles on this side. That's very interesting. I must say that you can't go in unless someone lets you in, sort of fashion, which is something I actually rather like. It allows the outside to seem very neat, while the inside look rather natural, which slightly contrasts with the fact that vampires are quite unnatural, in the fact that they're considered supernatural beings. So if we suppose I'm going to keep the mausoleum door. As I show you guys windows, we have 5 new windows. Double wide window goes with the original door, as does this one, which is basically a singular version of the double window, and then another singular just with additional patterns. And then of course they have none of this on this side. They're very interesting, quite like those. Oops, keep making mistakes. Then you have the more neoclassic windows. That one's in double, yes. So, seeing that's in double, I suppose to keep it in the middle, is the fact that it seems lower down. So both have the same end point. It's quite interesting. Might then just be how I have it. Yeah, perhaps it's meant to be like that, where they finish at the same point. That one's longer. It takes up more area. Yeah, they're very interesting windows, but I do like those. Then window still seems to be yes. Vintage gallery hasn't been something I've explored much of, so apologies. Oh, we then have a return of the werewolf. Does that say hanging werewolf wall jumper? So yes, another gargoyle of a werewolf. Very contradiction. It's quite a contradiction there. Change how I was going to say it, because many films and modern iterations of vampires actually show an almost endless war with werewolves. It's quite an interesting thing they may be pulling at here, the fact that the gargoyles are werewolf based. But then that may also be a hint in the fact that that's the next occult life state they're looking at adding into The Sims, because vampires and werewolves seem to be two of the classics. We then have Wall Fountain, very popular even before the Victorian times. Be a very nice feature to add onto any build, in fact. So I really like that. Then we have what's called a gargoyle howl. So if I scroll out, put it up so we can zoom in. That looks, yeah, a wolf or lion like face. It reminds me a bit like here of the green man from pagan religions, but the green man doesn't look so angry or have fangs. But yes, that's an interesting gargoyle. We then have brambles. I like these. The fact that you can then add in these, and with the size cheats you can have them cover such big places, and then this is a large version, so you can build quite derelict houses. You have this, which is more lengthwise, and smaller ones. So there, I've almost entirely infested this simple 2, or I can almost say 2.5 walls with just by placing 4, and that's of each of the different 4. You've got small, medium, dense, and tiny. By placing all of them, I've actually been able to cover the majority of 2.5 squares. And then you have the same, just not with so many options, for ivy. And again, with the size cheat, you can play around with that quite a lot for exterior. I mean, when they introduce things like this with Windenburg, we get together, I was in awe to see all the different people were able to put in their builds because of it. It was amazing. Then have the flooring, in which case we have 2. Correction, we have more than 2, but 2 wooden ones. So we have this simple Victorian, what do they call it? Parquet. diagonal floor panellings, very nice. Then have styled parquet, which is basically more wood panelling, but stylized, of course, which I really like. I can see myself using that. This styled one being more for a entrance hall or a front room, where the moment you walk through those double doors into a big, rich mansion, the fact that they are covering the floor, rather than like a patterned marble floor or tiled floor, have this wooden to show strength and the might of the family. Then have carpets. We have this floral pattern. I'm gonna have this more. Have this floral pattern. I think it's very nice. Ooh, that burgundy against the gold. I like that. We have the colder colours, the more silvery blue colours. Then you have this starry pattern of a similar thing, the burgundy and the gold. Then you've got the icy colours, the white and the silver. I really like that. I think it looks very well. Not sure where I'd necessarily use those yet, but I'm sure I'll find places. The spider tile. Being one of those children who was scared of spiders when they were little, I'm an animal lover. I do love all animals. But when I was little, for some strange reason, I had a fear of spiders. It's an irrational fear like normal. And it's one I've recently, it's last couple of years, I've actually gotten over. And I love spiders. I think they're adorable now, which is very contrasting. But I like this pattern and the fact that the reflection it has against the neatness of spider webs, of cobwebs. It's very expected in derelict properties and old properties, which is what this game pack is then expecting you to make with the content they're giving you. But there's almost something natural, almost giving back with spiders, and I rather like this. It's something I can see myself using in kitchens. And we then have a similar thing with it being called Play with Squares. Liking this as well, something I can see myself putting in an entrance hall or even a kitchen, or perhaps even a bathroom. Reminds me a lot of Greek or Roman, Persian, Egyptian, those tiled floorings. But I really do like it. And then we have dungeon-esque. So for those who want to build their dungeons, we have this brick for the basement. So yeah, really liking that. I believe that's then also what these brooding bricks would then also reflect, although in my honest opinion, don't particularly go well. That's the brickwork for the walls seems too neat, too organised, compared to the chaotic, small, big patterns of that dungeon-esque flooring. But that's for the build mode, and that was us looking at the build mode. Next part 2, we'll then be looking at buy mode. So I'll see you guys then. Bye.